All right, a pleasant good evening to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Monday, January 12th. Got one more game here to go on Wild Card Weekend here on Monday with the Steelers going to be taking on the Houston Texans tonight in Pittsburgh. Wrap up the weekend. Of course, we already had four great games and one not so good, if you know what I mean. All the other games were really close, except for tonight's late game with my Chargers out here. But hey, I had the Patriots here on the site anyway. All the games, man, were super close with the incredible finishes here so far, including a couple of more today. Man, it's really been a fun wild card weekend until the Chargers went clunk. But I went 2-1 on the site here today on at Tony's Picks and rolled a 4-1 so far. All I did was play the NFL playoff games actually as my premium picks here this weekend. And we'll probably be at it again tomorrow with our game, but we'll preview it here in just a few short moments. Talk about the action here over the weekend, or at least what happened in today's wild card games here, real quick. Start the show. Got a pretty good show for a Monday here with also NBA 6 games, NHL 9 games, and yeah, it's small conference time here in college basketball on Monday. We'll preview games from I think the Southland, the MEAC, among others. And want to thank you for joining me here in the chat. Say hello to the folks rolling in here right now. We'll give them a few minutes to get rolling in here with the show, get the preview started once we get a little bit of an audience going. So we kind of cover some of the action here on Sunday night, Monday morning here in Las Vegas now, and some good action for sure there. Started off with the Bills over the Jaguars. Josh Allen. What more can you say? Hey, one way to get over the hump here a little bit with some of these quirky matchups is to have the best quarterback left in the playoffs, and that's what you got pretty much with Josh Allen is able to lead them on that 66-yard game-winning scoring drive with a minute left in the game after the Jaguars have taken 24-20 lead on a touchdown with that incredible exchange. What did they say? The most lead changes in a fourth quarter there in the playoffs as the Bills got their first road playoff win since 1992. Allen 273 yards and a touchdown. That'll get it done. And he was beat up in there. In fact, who kind of got to him was Josh Allen, Josh Hines Allen, knocked him around a little bit, man. But just puts the team on his shoulders and does what it takes to get it done. Really is what it feels like. 2 rushing touchdowns as well. He had the key 36-yard pass on 4th down and 10, and a 10-yard run on that final drive. Khalil Shakir, 12 receptions, 82 yards. Said that which Bills receiver or how could a receiver like Shakir step up. Trevor Lawrence, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. And yeah, Parker Washington, who we talked about on the show, did come through big time for Jacksonville in a losing cause. 7 receptions for 107 yards. Buffalo will play the number 1 seed, Denver Broncos, next weekend. That's already assured. We already know the line here. It's right now mainly a pick 'em. There's a little bit of Buffalo 1, Buffalo 1.5. So it just feels like Buffalo, the slightest of favorites on the road against Denver next Saturday. We don't know the times yet of the 2 games. We do know the matchups on Saturday, and it'll be Buffalo and Denver. Total there 46.5. Meanwhile, the 49ers over the Eagles in the middle game there on Sunday with the Eagles losing the game there to the 49ers. Mentioned there in the show yesterday about these 6 seeds and the incredible run that the 6 seeds are on since this format took place in the NFL playoffs. Man, that gives the 6 seed yet another win and cover here in the playoffs, and the sixth seed against in the NFC. Just a crazy record here when the sixth seed meets. Now, in the last 9 years here in the NFC, the sixth seed, the underdog in the game, is 8-1 straight up, 9-0 against the spread. Just uncanny, and the Niners were able to get it done 23-19 as they survive there, pull off the fourth quarter rally to upset the Eagles. Brock Purdy, 3 turnovers, 262 yards, but McCaffrey, 2 touchdowns, rushed just 6 times for 66 yards. Get the ball to him in space is what you wanted to do. 6 receptions for 66 yards. Get the ball to him in space. Talked about Demarcus Robinson here on the show yesterday too. Talk about stepping up big time, right? He had the 6 receptions for 99 yards. A.J. Brown, just 3 receptions and a case of the dropsies at the wrong time. And will they be blowing it up here in Philly? We'll have to see about that. Philly's going to have some decisions to make as well with their situation right now. Pressure was on Sirianni there, and there was some definitely some funky play calling there a little bit with the Eagles. Hurts 168 yards, Saquon 100 yards rushing, and the bad news on top of it was George Kittle. He ends up with a torn Achilles. They're crucial. This Niners team already pretty much decimated by injuries, but still such a great organization with great depth. We mentioned Tonjes yesterday, right? And the role that he could play, well, he'll play the role now, the tight end for the San Francisco 49ers. The quarterbacks had trouble with the wind in that game, but you know what quarterback didn't have trouble with the wind? Jawan Jennings. He threw that 29-yard touchdown pass to give the Niners that 17-16 lead. Niners keep winning that first game in the playoffs again. They just last 7 times they seem to at least get one win out of it, and that's what the Niners do. So they will visit division rival Seattle next week here. And we do know the line, pardon me, you guys, but that we do know the line here in this one with San Francisco and Seattle. The Seahawks are a 7-point favorite, and the total 45.5. That game will be on Sunday. We don't know the time just yet, but San Francisco comes through big time and extends that streak of the underdog in the 6-3 game coming through. So, all right. And then late night, my Chargers with the loss there against the Patriots. Patriots continue to look like a Super Bowl champion. Now, this wasn't a great game by any stretch for the Patriots. They definitely had struggled against a good Charger defense. And lucky the Chargers had some defense because they couldn't do anything offensively. One of the worst performances in playoff history for any team, quite frankly, as they had just 200 yards, Patriots 300 yards, May 268 yards passing and 66 yards rushing, pretty much carried the team there in that one. Herbert 159 yards passing, 57 yards rushing. He got battered, fumbled 3 times. Patriots defense, 6 sacks, 12 pressures, 6 hits, and probably should put Herbert in the hospital after that game as the Chargers just got overwhelmed there by the Pats. Chargers had just 15 plays and 57 yards over 3 series span in the second half, couldn't move the ball at all, and Patriots moved to 15-3. Chargers, Herbert 0-3 in the postseason now. But so the Patriots, with their somewhat historic performance defensively in this game, the first time there was a lot of some criteria here that would show that the Patriots turned in yet another epic performance here a little bit against the Chargers with their stats in this game. In fact, if you look at some of the historic performances, the Patriots, they allowed no touchdowns, had a half a dozen sacks, allowed under 100 yards rushing, allowed under 150 yards passing, net yards The only other team to do that in the Super Bowl era during the playoffs was one of the greatest Super Bowl teams of all time, and that would be the Chicago Bears in 1985. So it's really kind of the second or third time that the Patriots have done something this season that resembles championship teams from the past. I said I do like this Patriots team out of all the AFC teams right now. He's still got to get past Josh Allen, but another big performance here by the Patriots defense in the game as they get their first playoff win since 2018 behind May's performance here. And in the last 6 years, the number 2 seeds in this round continue to dominate 11-1 straight up, 9-3 against the spread. We know New England uh, will be playing on Sunday. We just don't know who they'll be playing, whether it will be the Texans or the Steelers winner. The other game we did not mention, the Rams on the road at the Bears on Saturday. The Rams will be 4-point favorites against Chicago, and the total 51.5. So we pretty much know everything except which team will be going in to take on New England on the road. And we don't know the game times just yet for Saturday and Sunday, but we know which games will be played. Say hello to the folks in the chat as we get rolling and get started here with Night Moves. And let's see who's joining us here. We do have a couple dozen of you now, so I think we can get the show on the road. Power Critter is here today. Jerry Jones with a tough day with Bills win in San Francisco. Mr. Westers is ready to go here as well. He said he's rooting for the Chargers. Like I said, hey, let me go over to Tony'sPicks.com real quick to at least put myself on record here before I talk too much trash on my Chargers a little bit. I want to say I kind of want to say I saw it coming here. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and check out the handicapper leaderboards to see who's hot here. Hey, so far this year, how about it? Nice job, Al Ninos on top of the handicapper leaderboards right now. Great job, Al. Got Stephen Duncan firing away so far with his hockey selections. Ron Hahn doing a nice job as well. And you see some of the leaders. Hey, I'm up there now for the year so far at 27 and 23. We'll have to do better than 54% to get it done, but we'll take it right now. And had a okay day here with a 2-1 record. You see Vegas Al there on top. Great job. Justin McKelvey up there 5-2 as well. Al gets his 1 win a day. That's, hey, if you could go 1-0 every day, wouldn't need to be touting picks, probably, I would guess. But got myself up there 2-1. Rod had 3 winners as well. So check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com and show here what I was doing today with the 2 wins. I did have my 1 loser here with 4-1 in the NFL playoffs so far this weekend. And what I did was I took the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Buffalo Bills. But again, hats off to Josh Allen. Here we had the winner here with the Chargers and the Patriots. Said my recap here said I think the Chargers just have too many injuries to beat a Patriots team that has shown very strong form this season and has graduated into the top level teams in the league. The Chargers might have a slight edge in playoff experience, but the setting will be too much to overcome. The Chargers just didn't develop a solid enough running game to keep Herbert from getting clobbered was my write-up here. And Chargers pulling a fast one there with Omari and Hampton. Everybody wanted a refund. After that, he played just 2 snaps, and that ankle was bothering him. Why activate him if there was any chance of that? And Kamani Vidal had to carry the load a little bit, might have gotten fatigued there at the end, couldn't really get off at all, period. But the Chargers just had no running game. They had 1 running back the whole game there and a makeshift offensive line that kept them from succeeding this season. And then we had the Niners and the Bills, and there I said, whoa, not so fast here. The 49ers are likely to give the Eagles a heck of a battle here as the Eagles offense likely isn't strong enough to provide a victory by more than a touchdown over a very good 49ers team. Philadelphia just 4-7 ATS in the last 11 is playoff favorite. Should have said favorites. I think a typo in there. And I said San Francisco's long performed well in Philadelphia. Hurts in this offense just don't make enough big plays, even against this injured San Francisco defense. So I think we had the handicap right there a little bit. Hey, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off those premium pick packages. I'll keep firing away here this week in the NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball. Check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off those premium pick packages. All right, we'll keep saying hello to some folks, and then we'll get rolling with the previews here, including Monday Night Football. That's right, it is Monday night. And, well, we know what happens on Monday night if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? It just still counts, right? It's still Monday. Those are still the Steelers out there. Andre says, what did I tell you, Ramon? San Francisco money line. They got it done with the win. I think my preview had the hint of San Francisco in there anyway. And Greg said, trust Allen over Lawrence in that one. Trust Allen over anybody. I mean, really here, right? And Andre talking about that San Francisco game there with Kyle Shanahan, number one in the game. Hard to argue right there. Greg talking about his basketball winners as well. And let's see who else is here today. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Jerry, that was a tough one, right? But, Andre says you still got Tonjes, you still got Juszczyk out of the backfield. Juszczyk did play another key role here. I think we kind of mentioned him a little bit on the show, talking about what he still can do. Man, he's been around, hasn't he? Greg says it'll be Seattle and Buffalo in the Super Bowl right now. I don't want to fade Josh Allen. I still kind of want to take the Patriots a little bit, but man, if it comes down to that matchup, we'll see. We still got Denver in here in the AFC, and whoever wins the game here, we'll preview in just a moment. And Mr. Wesker said, hey, Caleb Rose there. Caleb Rose in the chat. Yeah, Caleb, it was tough. I mean, you got to have some backups, right? You got to have some guys that are capable. You might sit there and might be down with your two starting tackles out for the season. You obviously have a guy who could be a perennial all-pro in Joe Alt, but he's just a rookie, and he was injured half the season. So, it's almost one of those guys, you talked about the 49ers and Trent Williams. He was in there, and the 49ers were able to get it done. Joe Alt may resemble one of those type of offensive tackles because when he has been in there this season, that's kind of when the Chargers were doing a good job and getting those wins when they were healthy on the offensive line. So, yeah, James, and no doubt. I mean, right now, Herbert 0-3 in the playoffs, and while his first two performances statistically were okay, other than the 4 picks last year, also against Houston, but the yardage was kind of there. Right now, it's a big question mark here. Chargers also not Jim Harbaugh's best day either. Got to take those points early. Always take the points in the first quarter. That's what you do. But it wasn't going to make the difference in this one. Chargers were never reaching the end zone. Take the Bears in the over, says Caleb, in that game against the Rams. And Greg says, Allen looks like the best quarterback out there for sure. And Greg says, yeah, I think, for the Chargers, I think if they can, if Hampton is indeed that kind of running back, obviously right now it shows that I think he is a injury-prone player at this point, just his rookie season, so we'll see. But when you miss basically half the games, again, a little frustrating to think that Chargers activated for the game. He got a 1-yard carry in there, and that was pretty much it. All right, anything else? All right, we got a couple dozen of you in here. Let's roll with the previews here today and get ready for the action here on Monday Night Football. Man, hey, this is the Steelers on Monday Night Football. Let's bring up the graphic here. The Texans defense, their 47 quarterback sacks this season, going against a quarterback that likes to get sacked, and Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers still had 3,300 yards, 27 touchdowns. Oh, there we go. Let's get the graphic up there. 37 uh, touchdowns so far this season. We'll see what the Chargers have. What the, man, I'm lamenting. See what the Texans have in store for the Steelers, or vice versa. After all, the Steelers pretty much own Monday Night Football. They never lose really on Monday Night Football. That's been their calling card for years. You know, you think Monday Night Football, you think Steelers, and this team never loses on Monday night. Here, how many in a row is it now? They told them 27-0, something like that. These Monday night games of the Steelers at home, you have to count it. I mean, even if it's a playoff game, it's a Monday night, it's at home, and this is where they thrive. The Steelers are in the playoffs for the third year in a row and the fifth time in their last 6 years, but they just never can get very far right now, and that's been the reason why that Tomlin has felt the heat, felt the hot seat here a little bit. Could one win keep Tomlin in as coach? I mean, there's a lot of talk that this has got to be it for Tomlin. Even he's kind of hinting and joking about it a little bit, but maybe a little bit tongue in cheek, kind of saying like, "Yeah, you know what? You can get rid of me, but be careful what you wish for." Here, the Steelers have lost their last 5 playoff games with Tomlin. Their last playoff win was in 2017, but he's 8-11 in his career in the playoffs. And Aaron Rodgers, he's 11-10 in his career in the playoffs. The Steelers are 10-6-1 against the spread in their last 17 games as a home underdog. Doesn't happen that often, I'll tell you that, but Pittsburgh has won for their last 5 games at home right now coming in. They're back to feeling that home field advantage that we kind of expect with the Steelers here. So they're also have won 4 of their last 5 home games straight up. So it's been just a good run here for the Steelers right now. They've gone under in 6 of their last 9 games. They're pretty good in tight, close, clutch games as well, going 6-3 in games decided by 7 points or less. Steelers were a good underdog this season. As we mentioned, they've won 5 of the last 7 meetings in this series. You think about the old days, right? You got Houston in here. The Steelers and the Houston Oilers were always a classic division matchup. Always had great games there when these two teams would meet, right? Steelers and Oilers, come on, that was always a classic. Continue on though here. You guys can get ready for some of your comments in the chat. Should mention Houston here, a 3-point favorite, 3.5 here at some spots right now, but mostly 3-38. Oops, what is who's the cat? Who's the cat? We need cat videos. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, the Steelers did lose obviously in the week 17 game, but other than that, they've kind of finished strong here with wins over Baltimore there, obviously. Last week, 26-24 at home to seal the deal. Lost at Cleveland the week prior. It all put themselves in a little bit of a bind. But remember, before that, they won at Detroit. They clobbered Miami. They won at Baltimore, on the road as well. So they beat the Ravens in the 2 important games here. For Houston, meanwhile, wins here over Indy, but they did not cover. Beat the Chargers, beat the Raiders, beat Arizona, beat Kansas City as part of this roll here right now. They come in 12-5 Steelers, still 10-7 here. They didn't finish like some of the NFC South or anything, but Houston 8-2 as a favorite coming in. This has been a strong roll for them right now coming into this one, as the Texans are in the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row. they've been to the playoffs 8 times. They're 0-6 on the road, straight up 6-2 at home here. But they also do pretty well in the opening round of the playoffs, or their opening game anyway. They're 6-2 in their opening game, but 0-6 in their second game. So this is the first game of the playoffs. We'll see their favorite, obviously, coming in, but so tough to lay any points here against Pittsburgh in this one. The points feel valuable here to me, actually, with Pittsburgh, as decent as Houston has been. I mean, what we're seeing this weekend with these games, and man, the offense feels like it's going to be maybe a little bit more offense that was in tonight's Chargers Patriots game, I would imagine, but doesn't feel like it, look at the Chargers total, right? It was 46. Uh, Push it should have been 38, just like this game here, if anything. So, if anything, you could argue that, you know what, maybe it is kind of low, and maybe we could see at least some credible offense from these guys. I mean, look, Houston's definitely got some nice weapons here. In fact, if you put the team side by side, you'd have to look at Houston's offense here with Nico and Jaden Higgins, who's really stepped up here as a go-to receiver. You'd have to be excited if you're a Houston Texans fan, at least moving forward, even if they don't win this game, with Collins and Higgins in the receiving core. But look, it's not a terrible matchup here for a couple, especially Dalton Schultz in this one. Pretty good matchup for him. I don't know if I can get on many of the props here, though. It feels like another slugfest, and maybe some of the lines are too high. Pittsburgh, in my mind and my ratings, have a top 5 rushing defense. That makes it really tough for Marks and Chubb. Uh, Marks has been, plagued by a little bit of injuries here over the last few weeks coming in. And for Nick Chubb here, basically, missed 2 of the last 4 games, kind of was resting there as a healthy scratch last week to prepare for this game. But a pretty tough matchup for the Texans run game against the Steelers for sure. And you got to have a little bit of run game here. So the only guy I kind of am targeting here offensively for the Texans is down to Christian Kirk. I know I mentioned the exciting young receivers of the Texans here, but the Steelers have a pretty good pass defense. Although I think Kirk, they just set his numbers too low, and I think Stroud keeps looking for Kirk here eventually and gets him his numbers here right now. I'm not going to worry too much about the last game there. And Kirk hasn't had many good games this season, but his numbers came low, and I think he could reach his expectations here. And maybe Dalton Schultz as well, although not totally sold on him. I'm more sold on the defenses, I think, here in this one on Monday night. For the Steelers here, I do think that their backfield, I'm not touting them here to crush their numbers, man. It's hard to ignore the fact that Gainwell has been one of the most valuable players in the league, quite frankly, unheralded. Gainwell, Jalen Warren kind of gets the top billing in a way as a top back, but Gainwell with his receptions as well. I mean, that game against Baltimore, 8 receptions, 10 carries. I mean, 5 carries and 8 receptions in that game. They really utilized this guy well, with Rodgers just totally having looking for him time and time again is what it feels like. And now the Steelers offense, it's going to be rough for these receivers against the Texans. That's for sure. From DK here, who will be back in this game. That's a factor that might be overlooked by some people. We got DK back in the lineup here. Thielen did do a nice job, but I don't know. He did have 3 receptions in the game against Baltimore, and he's starting to see his role expand a little bit. But really, beyond that, Calvin Austin, MVS. I mean, we were on MVS. We obviously got there last game with those 5 receptions, but I think I'd prefer the Texans crew to this, and I have the Texans pretty much within the top 10 on pass defense here. So I think it's maybe a wash in the passing games a little bit. Fryermuth, I like his situation here today uh, as well. But like I said, I'm just not sure I can get there on many of these uh, props, even in this game. So Houston went 1-1 against the spread as a road favorite this year. They were 5-0 in games decided by single digits. They've averaged 30.3 points per game over the last 4 games, and uh, Texans were incredible in the plus minus turnover department this season. Stroud's 2-2 with D'Amico Ryans in their career together in the playoffs. Houston's gone over in 3 of their last 4. The Texans are 0-3 straight up and against the spread in their last 3 visits here into Pittsburgh. And if you want to look at more NFL wide trends with the seeding in this round, the last 3 years, the number 4 seed coming in uh, is 5-2 straight up and 6-1 against the spread in this round. But they've all been underdogs before here, and here you have Houston here coming in here as the favorite in this one. So you could flip it upside down a little bit there, as the 4 seed usually does pretty well in this situation. So it uh, favors the Steelers here a little bit. Okay, let's hear from you guys in the chat, and then I'll make a pick. And got the big game here right now between the Texans and the Steelers. All right, here we go in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on Night Moves. We got a little bit of NBA and NHL as well. Here we go with this one. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's Kelly in the chat. 23 straight. Thanks, Kelly. What is it? 21, 23. You guys knew it before I did here. Can you believe that? That's just incredible. And, it has to be considered, I think, in this game, doesn't it? Houston wins easy, says Mr. Weskers. Doesn't put much, doesn't give the Steelers much respect here. Greg says he's got Houston winning, as the defense will be too much for Rodgers here. And I think Andre says Texans win but don't cover, I think is what he's saying there. And Greg says it'll be a walk-off field goal. Rodgers with a couple of picks here.
Final.
And Andre, he's got Metcalf for a TD. He's got a Pittsburgh kicker over 7.5 points. I would tend to trust the kicker for the Steelers, just to put it in perspective. And you actually heard the Tirico and Collinsworth talk about it tonight, and they've quizzed me about it before on some of the shows, and I've talked about the kicking game here in Pittsburgh. I mean, and we've seen it in effect. I mean, you got chunky turf, chunky turf, and sometimes some wind, although it's expected to be relatively calm here on Monday, 8 miles an hour, and freezing temperature, 32 degrees. But it's always a bit of a adventure with kicking in this stadium, that's for sure, home or away. But obviously, when you got a guy like Boswell, and not that last week's misses notwithstanding, because that was just, I mean, you just never see that. I mean, just never see that when it comes to what happened with Boswell, or, well, I say Boswell, he missed his kicks, but Tyler Loop as well, missing those attempts here as well. But also Boswell has had an adventure as well here. So Stroud's kind of transformed this Texans offense still. He's a little bit dynamic. You wish he was just a little bit better. I don't know why he's kind of tailed off a little bit. They've moved through some different offensive systems there in Houston for him, but he's handled it pretty well. Rodgers brings 21 career playoff starts here. Obviously, he's 82, 50, and 1 against the spread in his career at home. Overall, that's pretty good. 9, 5, and 1 as a home dog in his career. 6, 3, and 1 against the spread as a playoff underdog. So good numbers overall for Rodgers in this role. He's also 21-11 and 18-12-2 against the spread in home games when his team has a lower winning percentage. In other words, don't try to show Aaron Rodgers up here, and that's what we're looking at when it comes to the Texans, because Aaron Rodgers will not stand for it, and neither will head coach Mike Tomlin, who is 20 wins, 9 losses, and 5 pushes against the spread as a home underdog as well. So home teams in the wild card round of the NFL uh, playoffs, uh, over the last couple of seasons have been pretty hard to beat. 9-2 straight up, 8-3 against the spread. I think that's even that might be before this weekend's games, and obviously home teams did have some pretty good success there. Obviously, not today. Houston defense is for real, and just keep DK away from the stands there a little bit. Hey, Rich Hall's here. He likes the Texans. Nice to have Rich here in the chat. Timmy Two Shoes on the Steelers here in this one. And hey, there's Kelly. What she got here? Longest reception for Stroud. Longest reception for Stroud. Houston secondary for Pittsburgh. All right, Kelly. Who's going to have the long reception? Kelly, was it a receiver you're going to point to, or what do we say? There, my friend. Let's see. Rodgers can't run. Yeah, he can't. But the thing he does, and not saying Charlie check down. That's not what Rodgers does. But you're not going to see him throw down the field very much. Yeah, you got DK. You want to try to stretch the field out. The Steelers going to need long, lengthy drives with short plays. I mean, that's really the way they can get this game done. Jimmy Two Shoes there. He's got Collins for a 70-yard game. He's got DK for 50. Wow, that would be something I would think here. Hey, want to say hello and welcome also here to Jay Kobzakai. Nice to have Jay in here with Steelers and under. I like Jay's avatar as well. Thanks, Jay. Really appreciate having you here as a member of the chat All-Stars tonight. I think the J stands for Jay. They're on the blue hat. Thank you, Jay. Good to have you. Oh, look at this. MVS for a TD there. And Rich talking about the game there against the Ravens. Remember, wasn't a playoff game, but it played like one, right? So, all right. How about a Hayward anytime TD, says Andre here. Oh, okay. It's like a toss-up against Rodgers. I got you, Kelly. So like Stroud probably minus $1.10, or maybe what is he? I imagine he might be a slight favorite. So it's longest reception over Rodgers. In other words, right? He'll have the longest completion. Is that what that means? Thank you, Kelly. Gainwell and Warren over their receivers. So it sounds like you guys kind of like the over in this game with all your offensive props in here today. I just have a hard time thinking that any of these players can get over their numbers a little bit. He does, Andre. This is a great point, Andre. He does, and that's I'm not calling it a problem at all. This is how Rodgers has to win the game, but you're not going to see deliberate, pocket passing. And that was, I thought, the problem today also was with Jalen Hurts in the game against San Francisco. I really felt like Hurts was taking off too quickly. Trust your offensive line. You can stay in the pocket there. Yes, he does move well and throw the ball well. He's not Caleb Williams. I don't want to say it like that. Hurts is a champion. There's no doubt. I'm not comparing the two, but just that I thought that Jalen Hurts was leaving the pocket too early, and in the windy conditions, it was already tough enough to throw, and it became even more difficult there for Jalen Hurts today. I thought in that game, I thought that was really kind of the downfall a little bit to what we saw today. So Collins anytime touchdown for Kelly as well. And another player I did not mention, though we've seen it was Xavier Hutchinson. Now he's kind of fallen off the projections of I think of this game, but he did have 5 receptions for 84 yards in the last game, and maybe X can give it to him here. And also, you can even go down here to Jalen Noel. He showed up in the game 2 weeks ago against the Chargers with a touchdown. So this is where I say I just think I prefer the overall receiving crew of Houston. All right. Let's see here. Timmy, no, hey, if you had Hunter, that was a great play, man. I mean, Hunter Henry getting that touchdown against his former team. You know, the Chargers drafted Hunter Henry actually, and it didn't stick around. So yeah, talking about what Andre was saying here, so that's what you're going to have. He's going to get rid of the ball quickly, and you're just going to have a lot of short passing for sure there. And Fairbairn, look at if anybody's putting up the points. Like I said, it's really tough to kick in this place, but Fairbairn may get his opportunity here to win a game. Who knows? All right, Collins over for Andre. Greg says San Francisco didn't look great, and they still came through. I think when you talk about coaching a little bit, right, and probably becomes a factor. Brown never a factor, says Andre in the game, other than a little bit of case of the dropsies at the wrong time there. And also, I also thought that, Sirianni had a rough go of it too, a little bit in what they were doing. Okay, I think we got everybody. Hey, want to say essay mofo in the chat. Nice to have. I hope I didn't say it wrong, because if you say something about my essay, you might be in trouble. And I said, hey, I'm not talking to your essay. I'm talking to this guy over here. Essay mofo. Thank you. Essay says Herbert needs to leave the Chargers. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. They're married to this guy. Actually, they just need to protect him. Herbert has already proven himself in the past few years to be among the better quarterbacks in the league. But you saw it tonight. I mean, the guy was laying on the ground, basically broken down there. Like I said, he probably have to go to the hospital just to get a checkup tonight. All right. I think that might be it. Here in this one, and hey, I'll make my call here unless you guys want to make the call in this one. I've got the under here in this one with the Steelers and the Texans here. 38, a little bit. They know what's going on, and it may end up being kind of close to that number. I don't think we're going to get a game like we did tonight with the Chargers, but still enough here. And see what's Mr. Wesker saying about Patullo. All right. I think that's going to be it. S.A. Mopo likes it to be the Bills and the Rams. We haven't seen that one yet. That'd be a good combination. And I still want to ride with the Patriots a little bit here. Look, Josh Allen is the best quarterback left in the playoffs, no doubt. Oh, Mr. West saying Patullo. Yeah, well, I think that's the question right now with the Eagles right now. Will they fire Patullo here? I mean, obviously, Sirianni will probably be able to. I'm not saying save his. I'm not saying to save his job or anything, but you know who the Eagles could call on here. I don't know if the chemistry works, but. Could we see my man Mike McDaniels come in here and join the Eagles as offensive coordinator? Could it be McDaniel coming in here to be the offensive coordinator? All right, I think that's it from the Texans and the Steelers. Hopefully, you guys got all your plays in there in the game there. Like I said, I'm playing probably here. Going to play Gainwell. I'm talking about the overs here. I don't want to trouble anybody with any unders. People don't like unders in prop land, but I mean, I'm probably going to go under with the Texans backs. I'm probably going to go under with the Steelers receivers here. Christian Kirk will probably be the only guy I'm really playing, a solid play on with the uh, Texans here in this one. Maybe a little bit of Stroud as well, but I do have a little bit of concern again with Nico and Higgins having a truly overwhelming game in this game that's going to really have some defensive conditions here in this one. Dalton Schultz, okay. Fryermuth, okay. So, all right. And Mr. Wesker's Steelers money line, maybe for him there. Timmy says he's a Patriots guy, and like I said, hey, I had the Patriots, so try to be objective here. Even as a Chargers fan, we were on the Patriots there tonight here on the site. All right, it's going to do it, I think, for that one. Want to thank you guys for some great contributions in the football game. Enjoy the game tomorrow. All right, let's get to some NBA action here on Monday night. We got a nice little card, and hey, I thought we had a pretty good show here last night on Sunday night. The winners just kept coming here, really, on our 9-game card. We almost won them all. We had the under there in the Nets game against the Grizzlies yesterday. Barely went over 200 points in that one. We had the winner here on the show yesterday with the Spurs and the Timberwolves game to go under. We also had the Heat and the Thunder game over yesterday. Also, we had on the show the Phoenix Suns to rout the Wizards as a winner here on the show. We had Milwaukee and Denver under. We had Atlanta and the Warriors over. And we had the Sacramento Kings. So the wins just kept coming in the late games here on the Night Move show yesterday. Let's get to the action here on Monday night in the NBA. Started off here with the Jazz taking on the Cavs in this one, and man, 250. What's going on here? We know the Jazz gave up just 150 points to Boston the other night with a really rough performance there defensively, and so maybe that's the expectation here as well with the Jazz on the road. But you know what? Sometimes those are it's not an outlier. We've seen the Jazz give up some big points, but it'd be tough to repeat such a terrible performance, giving up such a massive amount, although it's not unprecedented from what we've seen from the Jazz so far this season in some of their games. But see what you got here with this matchup here tonight with the Jazz on the road. They're 13-25 coming in. They've been slumping here, of course. Cleveland coming in off of a win. They've been alternating really wins and losses here of late. They just knocked off Minnesota, of course, in that last game in a 12-point win. Utah, meanwhile, lost against Charlotte last time out here. Cleveland's a 9-point favorite with that. I'm sorry, that's not right, is it? Make sure I get the right line. Can't be having the wrong line up here when it's 13, guys. I'm sure you guys are yelling at me in the chat right now to change it. There we go. Yeah, I'll say so. 13 here in this one. Open maybe 12.5. Did see some openers also around this 13 mark here. Let's call it what it is right now with the double digits. Here in this one with the Jazz on the road, getting the Baker's dozen. Utah has gone just 1-6 straight up in their last 7 meetings with Cleveland, going 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games against the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. Cavaliers have been one of the worst favorites in the league so far, 10-23 against the spread, despite the fact that they are 22-18 overall. They're nearly opposite Spread-wise, 13-27. We continue to harp on it, actually. Meanwhile, Utah, for as mediocre as they've been or as bad as they've been, they're actually above 500 in the underdog role, 18-16 against the spread. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but I think for the most part here of late, Utah's gone over in 13 of their last 19, but Cleveland's gone under in 9 of their last 14 games. And maybe it is going to go over 250, but I'm probably just going to take the under just because it's 250. I don't have any doubt that it might be very, very close to that. But man, 250 in a game like this. Cleveland is just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. They've won 5 of their last 6 at home and 5 of their last 7 games overall. Let me go to the chat here with our first NBA game of the night and see what you have here in this one between the Jazz and the Cavs to get it going. Jazz play better and cover. They're getting a few players back. Look, I think without Markkanen, it makes a huge difference. He obviously was taking rest last game and, they ended up getting crushed. Got to have Markkanen in there. He's pretty much the guy that makes it tick. Bailey is questionable here for the Jazz. For the Cavaliers, Dean Wade still out here right now. Jazz on the points here for Andre. He'll take those points. And Mr. Wesker's going to take the Cavs. They really did smack down Minnesota. Minnesota was coming back there a little bit towards the end, and the Cavs pulled away again on them in that game to handle it. We saw the Wolves there last night with that fun win over the Spurs after they shut them down there. All right, Utah for Timmy Two-Shoe. And Andre says, look, it's 250 for a reason. That's why you do take the over there. I'm not going to do it. I'll give you the under here. I'll be the guy. I'll be the sucker. Greg has it here right on the line there pretty much. Allen over on his points and rebounds. Cleveland in the under here for Greg. All right, I think that'll do it for that one, and I'll still take the under here in this one. Let's calm down out there. 250, is that the highest total we've seen this season on the betting board? All right, here comes the Celtics taking on the Pacers in this one. Celtics 24-14. The Pacers are hot, man. They've won 2 in a row here. Starting to get it together a little bit here. Wins over Charlotte and Miami. They crushed Miami last time out. Only getting 5.5 here from the Celtics. Celtics have lost 2 of 3, but those losses were to Denver and to San Antonio. Boston's been at home here, starting to hit the road. Right now, Boston 12-7 against the spread on the road. Still, Indiana 12-9 against the spread at home. They're a team that at least covers, despite the fact that they don't seem to be able to win. And they're actually getting 6 here in a lot of spots. Total 224. And this one, I think if you look at these two teams, you probably would expect an under. These two teams are combined 32-45 to the under this season. Indiana's 14-20 to the under as an underdog. Boston's 8-11 to the under on the road here. In fact, they've gone under in 4 of their last 6, and Indiana's gone under in 5 of their last 6. However, 9 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams have gone over. In fact, the two teams have met already a couple of times this season, and it did go 1 over and 1 under. They played back on the day after Christmas, and Boston won 140-122 as a 5.5 point favorite in that one. They didn't cover the first meeting at home. Boston won by 8 as an 11.5 point favorite. The Pacers have lost 13 of their last 15 overall, but have gone 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games coming in. Boston is just 3-8 against the spread against Indiana in the last 11 meetings between the two teams. Boston comes in having covered 13 of their last 20 overall, but probably going to try to look to a home dog here. Let me see what you guys have in this one. Like I said, these guys always seem to go over when they face one another, although, like I said, the meeting at Boston was a big time under, just 198 points, and Boston couldn't cover 11 and a half. Let's see what you got in the chat here in this one. And here we go. Timmy says Boston's going to beat them. That's what he said anyway. Boston's going to beat them. Celtics going through some issues here with their personnel right now, says Mr. Weskers. Don't have everybody going on, but I don't think the injury report is too decimated here or too shaken up, but still you got, Brown doubtful in this game. So there it is. Mr. Weskers talk. Oh, okay. I thought that's what he was talking about. He says that Brown and White don't drop 30 each. And you got Jaylen Brown. I think he's not going to be able to make this game. Actually, I think that's why the line is what it is, because he's down with a back injury here right now. Sam Hauser also questionable. Minot is still out of this game for the Pacers. Nemhard questionable here as well. Jackson's out, and Mathurin has been out here now for a week or so. So I got to take the Pacers here in this one. See if we got more comments here. Yeah, maybe that could be a little bit of it too there, says Mr. Weskers. Celtics win but don't cover. Siakam over right now. Siakam is the one guy kind of carrying this team there a little bit. And Greg has it here. Let's see. He's got it by 9. So I think that's a cover, or that's a Celtics win right there. Win and cover. All right. Let's see here. Boston, no pressure. The bench can beat them without Jaylen Brown, he says there. All right. Yeah. I think that's it from you guys in the chat. I'm going to take the Pacers here in this one for sure. Give me Indiana in this one. All right, next up now, let's go to, the 76ers and the Raptors again. Are these guys playing every game against one another here right now? Feels like it anyway. The teams just met here, obviously, last night in the 116-115 win here for Toronto last night. So they're going to play on back-to-back nights here. It came down late in the game with that Toronto massive comeback, actually. It was I think we were talking about it. They outscored them 31-23 in the fourth quarter to force overtime, and then got the late call there as Barnes got the one free throw there and then purposely missed the second one to win the game there for Toronto in that one. Hey, we had Toronto here on Night Moves. I don't know if I said it right there yesterday. I didn't mention that one. We had Toronto here on Night Moves last night, plus the points there in that one as part of our hot winning streak there yesterday. So let's see, though, what you got with these two, with the Sixers here now favored in this one by 2.5. They were favored by 4 last night. Actually went down to 1 there late because of the injury report there. So we'll see now. I think the spread here is now 2.5 in tonight's game, but that spread went from 4 to 1 eventually. When we talked about on Night Moves last night, it was 4. So here right now it is 2.5, maybe even 3. Embiid is questionable. PG is questionable as well for Toronto. Jacoby Walter is questionable. Brandon Ingram questionable. RJ Barrett questionable as well. And Chucky Hepburn is out of this game. So see what you like, though, here in this one with Toronto hosting Philly back-to-back nights here in Toronto. Philly's gone 5-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 7, but are now just 1-6 in their last 7 games against the Raptors against the spread. Toronto's covered 4 of their last 5 games coming into this one. Their loss was to Boston 2 games back. For Philadelphia, meanwhile, they come in here, one of the best spread teams, still, despite losing yesterday's game, one of the best spread teams on the road, now 13-4-1 after last night's. Although you could have said that although they didn't cover, they were, a slight favorite in the game. It still went down to the wire. Philadelphia 13-8 against the spread as a favorite. Toronto 10-6 against the spread as a dog, although 9-12 against the spread at home. But let's see what you've got here with these two. And Toronto getting those points. Toronto is 9-12 to the under at home. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Toronto's also 5-10 to the under in their last 15 games overall. Philly's gone over in 4 of their last 5. Here comes some picks from you guys in this one, and let's see what we got. We got Andre here with the Raptors plus the points. Thank you, Power Critter, for stopping by. Good luck tomorrow. And Timmy says it could be a retaliation, and this is the kind of revenge that Greg's talking about here with the quick revenge. These are the ones sometimes that are more obvious than others, aren't they? But Philly should have won. They really did kind of I don't want to say choked it yesterday, but I still think, laying the points here still makes it a little bit tough whenever you're in Toronto. But like I said, this one is kind of feels like with the injury report, it may be a little bit more significant, waiting to see if Embiid and George are in the lineup. I think this is kind of throwing a little bit of a wrench, as always, of course, with Embiid, but. Okay, see what you guys want to do here in this one. Like I said, when you got the back-to-back, maybe these ones, maybe set up more for revenge here, and I think Philly will probably be pretty popular. So Mr. Westwood says if no George, he likes the 76ers on the money line better. He wants to fade Paul George in the game. So, all right, I'm going to go with the Raptors again. I think a popular angle will be on the Sixers here. That might even be a bit of a public play. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Raptors to win back-to-back here right now with the Sixers on the road twice in a row here. But no doubt I can acknowledge, playing back-to-back after a loss, they may be able to bite them. All right, hello to Nexus in the chat. Good to see you there, Nexus. Let's keep it going here right now with our next up. We've got the Nets on the road taking on the Mavericks here. Mavericks favored at home by just 3 points in this one against Brooklyn here. Dallas 14-25 coming in. They might be up to a 4-point favorite actually right now. Let me see here. Yeah, better update it. Type these in during the Monday night game. Mavericks 4-221.5 now. So Mavericks may be taking a little bit of action here, but the Mavs have lost 2 in a row coming in right now to Chicago and to Utah. Those were on the road. They went 1-2 on a 3-game road trip here. Those aren't teams you want to lose to necessarily, but we know Dallas is still a growing team a little bit. That still going to be favored at home over this Nets club. The Nets have come in with a 3-game losing streak right now to Orlando, the Clippers, and Memphis. However, they have covered 3 of their last 4 games overall. Dallas is one of the worst favorites in the league, just 2-10 against the spread as a favorite. So pretty tough to trust them, no matter how bad Brooklyn has been. Brooklyn is actually 9-7 against the spread on the road, and a 500 proposition as an underdog pretty much this season. So that's pretty bad, 2-10. I mean, maybe the spread's low enough here, but you still got to lay it with Dallas. Dallas has gone 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games overall, losing 6 of those games. Dallas has gone under in 5 straight games here right now. Brooklyn's gone under in 4 of their last 6 games. They're also 15-20 to the under as an underdog. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these non-conference foes have gone over, but it feels like Dallas here not only 2-10 as a favorite, but they're 2-10 to the under as a favorite. So what happens when Dallas is favored? It's a lower scoring game. It goes under and they don't get it done. I mean, that's just what continues to happen here time and time again in those 12 games so far this season. Brooklyn's 8-3 against the spread here in their last 11 games on the road right now. Now, they have lost 7 of the last 8 meetings to Dallas overall, but Dallas has been better, and we know Dallas is missing Anthony Davis here again, and he's going to be out for a while. We won't have to ponder anyway about AD's status because he's out here with that hand injury. Cisse is questionable for Dallas. Brandon Williams doubtful. PJ Washington doubtful. Notable injuries here for sure for Brooklyn. Zaire Williams questionable. Drake Powell questionable. And PJ questionable as well. They're missing some guys here as well. I think that puts me here on the Brooklyn Nets in this one. Got to take the Nets with some of these numbers here to keep it close anyway. It does feel like that some of those, 2-10. I think that speaks for itself here. Nets have been bad, but this is a bad matchup. Let's go to the chat, see what you got. And 76. Let's see, Nets against the spread here for Mr. Weskers. Could Christie get 3 threes here? Greg says take Dallas. Just take him money line or something like that. Brooklyn tied here. Yeah, Brooklyn should note played obviously last night, and Dallas has been waiting for him here. Brooklyn lost that game last night against the Memphis Grizzlies, 103-98, but they did get the money, and I think we liked Memphis in that game. That's what I was saying. We didn't win them all there. I did have the under yesterday on another show, but all right, let's see. MPJ going to get juiced up here. Timmy says Nets money line. And Timmy says if Brooklyn can win in mini. All right, and let's see. Mavs offensive scoring woes. And Brooklyn should be tired with that travel from Memphis to Dallas. It could make a difference here, especially when you're talking about bad teams. But again, you're going to be without Davis here and a bunch of other names too here, all looking very questionable, including Williams and Washington. All right. Not a great game, so let's get to one that might be a little bit better here. I don't know if it is, but I do have the series where the Lakers dominates the Sacramento Kings, no matter how you look at, whether or not the Lakers are able to cover numbers. Well, they usually cover against these guys, even when it's big. But Lakers have lost 2 straight now here. All of a sudden, the Kings are off of a win, so watch out. Kings beat Houston last night, 111-98. Yeah, we had the under on the show here last night. I know I took the Kings, bet the Kings, but we did have the under here last night. It did go under in the 111-98 win for Sacramento at home. So look, Sacramento got it done. Now, we did mention on the show there last night that if Sacramento's had success against a team, Houston is one of them. As bad as they've been, Sacramento has usually been able to beat Houston for whatever reason. They've never been better than them recently. We know that. But for the Lakers coming in here, you got to, take a long look at what we might have injury-wise with the matchup here. Look, LeBron's probable. Rui Hachimura is almost the glue player here. And look, I don't know if he's going to make this lineup, but so far this season when Hachimura has been out, The Lakers have not had a good record without him in there, and we're not talking about the number one guy on this team, in Rui Hachimura, but he is a guy that the Lakers, the winning percentage is there with Hachimura in the lineup, and subpar with him out of the lineup, and obviously Austin Reeves still missing here as well. So maybe a little bit of a tricky spot for the Lakers, especially when you're favored by double, basically kind of win by double digits here. But at least you're playing a team that you've dominated here in the past right now. They've won and covered 6 straight meetings over the Kings here. And, we've been talking about the same Kings and maybe even the same Lakers over the last couple of seasons here with this matchup. Lakers still, though, just 1-4 ATS, their last 5 on the road coming in. Sacramento's gone 1-7 straight up and 2-6 ATS in their last 8 games overall. Sacramento's gone under in 5 straight games at home. They've also gone under in 6 of their last 9. The Lakers have gone under in 4 of their last 5 coming in and 7 of their last 10 as well. Kings are just 15-21 to the under as a dog. So I'm going under in this one for sure with the Lakers and the Kings on Monday night. And, I could probably get behind the Lakers. It's going to be tough to want to lay 10 points here, but the Kings coming off of a win, and they're playing on the back-to-back here right now. Lakers actually have had 2 days off leading into this game. So maybe the Lakers could win for fun or get it done anyway, but anybody really want to lay 10 points even against the Kings? I don't know. Let's see what you got in the chat here tonight. All right, and let's see. Timmy says about the new Kings. The new Kings. I think he's taking them, though. Lakers win, Kings cover, says Andre here. It's a lot of points here, even for this franchise. And Timmy says Lakers are kind of playing sus here right now. They lost to the Spurs. They lost to the Bucks. They were winning games before that. Remember, they beat Memphis and New Orleans. All right, and let's see. And Andre says Doug Christie's got the Kings playing a little bit better. And remember when Mr. Weskers, when I said, Mr. Weskers, are you even watching these Lakers right now? They're playing okay. I mean,
final.
Funny when you think about, I don't want to call them Laker haters. I'm not even saying that that's what, Mr. Weskers is here on this one, but, it's easy to root against these guys, that's for sure. Let's see. Nexus says the Kings are 1-5 against the spread with no rest this season. How about that? And they already won back on my birthday there. How about that? Beat them by 24 points, 125-121 as part of that Lakers dominance here. Although I think the Kings did win the first meeting between the two teams this season. Let's see here. Kings give the effort. Nexus may be on the fade train a little bit. LeBron can't even get the boards right now. And Greg, I think, says, taking the Kings. Hey, hello to Yo-Yo Street in there. It says Kings in LA are beeping. They slapped Luka. Nice to see you, Yo-Yo Street, joining us here, the Chat All-Stars today. And I like Yo-Yo Street's avatar there. Was that the Cheetos mascot there? Does anybody like Cheeto dust on their enchiladas and burritos? All right. That's my question of the night. Does anybody make their own Cheeto dust with the end of the Cheetos bag and then store it for later like I do? You get you crunch it up, and then you put it on your food. You got Cheeto dust. It's a very addicting topping. All right. Timmy says the Kings could just stay in bed possibly here. Andre says Lakers nothing special this season. Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like they're up there with the top teams of the West, that's for sure. And Andre and we're kind of opposite, though. I'm not necessarily well, I'm a Laker fan, but I'm a LeBron. I like LeBron. Think I don't like him when he gets political. I like him when he builds schools. I want LeBron to build schools, not to uh, go defending China. But hey, kind of like the president, he gets along with China. Okay, so all right. Yeah, Timmy, you got to try the Cheeto dust. Don't eat at the end of the Cheetos, people just throw that bag away. If you got some little bits of Cheetos in there, you can use it for some great food toppings. Okay, that's a tip of the day. Uh, Clip it. All right, one more here tonight on Monday night, late night. Charlotte taking on the Clippers here. I'm more of a Clippers fan than a Lakers fan, of course. The Clippers were my team as a kid, so I still like them, and I know how bad this franchise has been from the days when I would be in my room all alone as a elementary school kid, listening to the Clipper games and keeping score on a old school chalkboard. This was before the internet, believe it or not, and I'd have a chalkboard with an eraser, and I would score the whole game. I would listen to Ralph Lawler, the Clippers announcer, and I would try to score the whole game. Rebounds, assists, shooting percent. I'd just do a chalkboard, and man, I was a crazy, much like you, some of you guys, I'm sure, in the chat that did crazy things because we're sports fans, and that was before I knew what betting was. And I like to uh, kind of watch the game that way. I'd listen to the game and I'd update everybody's totals as I'd go along. And here I am now talking to 50 of you on YouTube on a Monday morning about the Clippers. Favored by 4.5 here, 223 the total in this one. Yeah, Hornets, you know what? Hey, they're same record almost here as the Clippers, 14-25. Clippers 15-23. But it does feel like the Clippers, even though they did throw in some clunkers in there too, it feels like they've somewhat turned it around here. They have been, I don't know how you couldn't say they have turned it around somewhat. It was dismal as they were playing there for a while. It's totally surprising that they were able to come out of the funk like this, and look so strong. They had those 6 consecutive wins by double digits after they had really been stinking up the whole season. Now, Charlotte's covered 6 of their last 7 games coming in. They're one of the best covers in the league. They're 20-12 against the spread as an underdog. The Clippers, meanwhile, are 6-12 against the spread as a favorite. But again, that might have been before they've kind of turned it around here a little bit. Still, the Clippers are 6-1 now against the spread in their last 7. They've won and covered 9 of their last 11 games overall. So, yeah, you might throw some of those numbers out. They're only favored by 4.5. And I think if you look at the two teams objectively now, you'd have to think that the Clippers are uh, they should have the better team anyway, right? The better uh, uh, club here this season. Now, Kawhi is questionable, so that's going to be an issue here for sure to see if he can make this lineup. It's an ankle injury. It's not his usual knee soreness or anything. So it's a big difference right now, and maybe that's why maybe the spread is only 4.5 for the Hornets here. Connaughton, he's questionable in this game. Not much else going here for the Clips. And see what you have here. They're favored by 4.5. Total 223.5. Clippers off back-to-back wins and covers over Brooklyn and Detroit. Also lost to the Knicks back almost a week ago, and also beat the Warriors at home as an underdog. For the Hornets here, they're off of a road win at Charlotte, of course. At Utah, of course, that 150-95 game a couple of nights ago now, and a great performance by Charlotte. They did lose to Indiana and Toronto before that, but again, Charlotte 23-16 ATS, and real good numbers overall this season against the spread. Now they have gone 0-10 in their last 10 games against the Clippers, and just gone 5-10 against Charlotte. I remember one of my most memories that I have of going to an NBA game. I got some floor seats right behind the basket, and this had to be about 20, no, probably 25 years ago, maybe 23. Uh, and Baron Davis just lit up the Clippers one night. I mean, haven't been to, maybe just I won't say a handful, probably 50 or 60 NBA games in my life, but this one stood out because Baron Davis. Not only we had some great seats there. This was back at the LA Sports Arena, so that's how long it was ago. But to see Baron Davis, uh, how great he was, and of course, being a just coming into LA as a Charlotte Hornet and lighting up the Clippers, man, it just stands out in my mind as a something I'll always remember. Let's go to the chat, see what you have in this one with the Hornets taking on the Clippers tonight. My Clippers. All right, here we go. Clippers money line for Mr. Weskers. Also, Andre says Clippers money line and under. Timmy here says the Hornets will shock him, or they shock him. Could be an over here in this one, maybe. I don't know about that. Like I said, when you read off some of these numbers here, it does feel like an under with these two teams. Charlotte's 11-21 to the under as an underdog this season. Now the Clippers have gone over in 5 of their last 7 meetings with Charlotte. All right. And Timmy thinks we're in for a long night of 3-point shooting. Right, Mr. Weskers? Baron Davis, he could fill it up, no doubt. All right, Greg says, watch that injury report. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wait on the injury report here. Actually, I think in this game, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the under in this one. Clippers been such a solid under here right now. They are just 8-10 to the under as a home favorite, but I'll go ahead and take the Clippers here in this one. On night moves, we had 3 unders in 6 games there. All right, it's going to do it here for the NBA. Let's go now to a little bit of college ball here. Not too much. Not going to look too many games here on our Monday slate. We're basically dealing with small conference mid-majors here tonight, and let's get started. All right. College basketball on Monday night here with Navy and American. Is this the game of the night here between game of the night here as we're in the Patriot League in this one? Taking a look currently at the Patriot League standings. Who are you going to find up there? Navy 4-0 leading the Patriot League right now. American is 2-2 coming into this one. Of course, Navy, Austin Benini, a pretty good player so far. Now, American has their star too in Madden Collins, but I think American, when you got maybe like a 1-2 punch with Aiden Keogh as well, they're the better team. I feels like here coming in to the game. I just feel like they've got the 2 better players, 2 star players, if you will, in this game. I think that makes them kind of the team you want to look to here, even as a 1-point favorite, and the total 138 here going up against American. And hopefully won't catch you too off guard with some of these, but hey, we don't have much to choose from here, I tell you tonight. Navy plays pretty good defense too. American actually might be hard pressed to get their team total, I think, in this one. Navy's gone under in 7 of their last 8 games. American's gone under in 4 of their last 5, and 10 of the last 14 in this series has gone under here as well. So I don't know, we could almost make it a double play here, I feel like, with this matchup. Like I said, I think Navy here, they're the team coming in here 12-5 overall, American 9-8, trailing in the standings. And Navy's on a winning streak right now here of 8 games. They've also won 11 of the last 15 meetings against American, although American did win the last matchup in the conference tournament 74-52 after Navy had won and covered the regular season meetings. American upset American upset Navy last year in that conference tournament game, 74-52 uh, there. So, see what you got though here in this one. If you want to talk about revenge, that could be revenge. That actually could be some good revenge. But Navy, they're pretty hardcore with their group that they play in there. Um, not a lot of depth on this team, that's for sure. You got pretty much just uh, 6 or 7 guys in there for sure for Navy, but that's just how it rolls. Let's go to the chat though here in this one. Navy not the best offensive team in the world, so maybe we could take the total. Let me see if you guys have a play with me here. Mr. Tony loves American U, and I always was enamored with American U as a kid when I was doing my own college basketball. Uh, Even before I was betting, I was tracking college basketball. Really loved it, and then didn't even understand betting as a kid. But I was always enamored with American U just because of their, uh, the dynamics of their university. Okay, here we go. Greg likes American to win this one. Timmy likes American at home, and Greg there says American and the under. Timmy says he likes Navy, but on the road can be tough. Yeah, tough when you're going in to Washington, D.C. for a game like this. And Greg says probably be a pick 'em here by game time. All right, I'm taking Navy here in this one. Maybe I like that under too, but let me just I'll take Navy as my play. You guys are on American, and I still think Navy has the better talent on the court. All right. Also, I will mention Navy so far. I mentioned there are a string of unders here right now, but also 2-9 to the under as a favorite. If they go off a favorite, like I said, Greg said we pick them by game time. American is 6-2 to the over at home, but Navy's 4-11 to the under overall. And 2 of the 3 meetings last year did go under. All right. Well, look, I thought I'd have DeAndre here tonight, so I said let's preview New Orleans and Southeast Louisiana. Well, let's do it anyways. Here tonight with Southeast Louisiana here at home, favored by 2.5, and the total here in this one is 142. In this one with New Orleans with the Privateers on the road here, both teams are 5-11 coming in, but uh, not only do we not have a big time schedule here, but you could also look at the standings in the Southland Conference, and even if you want to make fun of this matchup here, it's an even matchup anyway. New Orleans comes in 3-4 in conference play. Southeast Louisiana 2-5, but they are at home. Of course, the Southland is home to some other teams here that will be playing on Monday. And look, there's some other matchups here on this card, but I decided to look at some other games. There's a big one in this conference here, but might be saving it for a little premium. I didn't want to go too much into it, but the big game in the Southland Conference is going down here on Monday night between Nichols and McNeese. It's the game of the year. But if you guys want to comment on it, maybe, but might be saving it for a premium. But let me know what you guys have here right now in this one with New Orleans, Southeast Louisiana here. New Orleans, like I said, both teams coming in here 5-11 right now. New Orleans a 1-3 ATS New Orleans 4-8 against the spread on the road. It's actually showing here I guess Navy has actually moved to the favorite. Like I said, I typed these during the football game. Let me put the favoritism on the right team here. New Orleans is a 1.5 point favorite, 142.5. How about that shift in the line? There we go. So maybe maybe I crossed myself up a little bit because I thought DeAndre we could talk about this one. Uh, for Southeast Louisiana here, 1-3 against the spread at home, but 6-5 against the spread as an underdog. I guess I can talk about them in that role now. Southeast Louisiana's 3-8 to the under as an underdog. Now New Orleans has been going over here of late, for sure. They've gone over in 8 of their last 10 coming into this one. However, see what you got with these two. New Orleans on the road here. Like I said, I'm going to try to make sure we preview somewhere along the line this season. Try to get every team in the preview at least once or twice. See how it's going with those teams. But like I said, this is a pretty big shift here right now in this line. And let's see what you got here, and we'll cover some of the matchup here. Man, I can't believe we got some comments here on this one with you guys. And Timmy, like in New Orleans here, it looks like. And yeah, it's a Degenerate Monday. And Greg says he's got New Orleans winning. He's got maybe New Orleans right there. Timmy also there. All right. Yeah. For me, I'm going to take Southeast Louisiana at home in this one. They're getting 1.5 now. I actually thought they were going to be favored, and I was going to kind of talk about how I liked them to win, and it'd still be tough to cover, but I'd prefer them. But now I can't believe that shift to 1.5. Again, New Orleans has been very, very rugged here against the spread, and now that they're a favorite, they're 1-3 against the spread as a favorite, and covering just 3 out of their last 10 games overall, coming in off of a loss to Nichols, 90-77. They were favored over New Orleans was favored over Nichols in that game, believe it or not. So I got some I got some problems with that. They did beat East Texas A&M prior to that, but have losses to Northwestern State and to Corpus Christi. Meanwhile, Southeast Louisiana beat Lamar at home 60-52 as a 1.5 point dog. They did cover against McNeese, lost by just 12, and they were getting 16.5 in that one. So go ahead and give me Southeast Louisiana here in this one. Got a long hockey card coming up, so stay tuned. Next up, Arkansas Pine Bluff here taking on Prairie View A&M. Man, we're having some fun now. If you're watching Night Moves, congratulations here. We've got 60 of you listening to this preview with Pine Bluff here, and taking on Prairie View A&M. How about it? We get action here in the SWAC tonight. Now, this one a little bit different here. You got Pine Bluff 3-0 sitting in first place. Prairie View is 2-1. Pine Bluff comes in 6-10. Prairie View 7-9. But we know these teams go out on the road and play a very difficult non-conference schedule leading in. So Pine Bluff actually now, with their 4 conference wins, has covered every one of them. Alabama A&M, Alcorn State, Texas Southern, 3 consecutive wins and covers here for Pine Bluff. Meanwhile, for Prairie View, they've been a terrific cover as well. The one game they didn't cover here in conference play was the last game against Mississippi Valley. They won 70-69, but they were laying 18.5 to last place Mississippi Valley. This game was just 1-16 so far this season. Alabama Prairie View probably has the best player on the court in Tarion Joseph here, but Pine Bluff really has a cohesive team. They are 8-6 against the spread so far. Prairie View, this is only their second home game of the season. They were 0-1 so far as a home favorite. That was that last game to Mississippi Valley. That one might need some investigating, quite frankly, here. And the fact that they're favored makes it a little bit uncomfortable right now, but we'll see. These two teams right now, they've met last year. The game here at Prairie View was 75-64. Pine Bluff won it as a 5.5 point dog. The first meeting at Pine Bluff was won by Alabama A&M, 75-64. So see if this one interests you at all. And I'm just going through some small conference action here on Monday. Okay, let's see what you got. Pine Bluff for Mr. Weskers. Jimmy Choo is going to go 1-800-GAMBLER on this one. Greg says Pine Bluff by 2. Arkansas a little wrong team's favorite, and maybe it was. Maybe it was a typo. Although I did see it as a 2-point favorite for South for oh no, this game. I was thinking of the last game. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is a little bit of an issue here. Right. Hey, the fix is in. Is here? There he is. Right. I call it. Says, hey, maybe the fix was in that last game there for Prairie View. So take Pine Bluff. Says the fix is in. All right. Jimmy says I got to draw the line at New Orleans. I'm not going to go down here. Like I said, the one thing when I picked this one, you got Pine Bluff. I think they're clearly number one here right now in this. Number one in the standings, and I think their offense is pretty decent. I think a lot of people will still be picking Bethune-Cookman here to win the conference. You still have Grambling. They'll also be there. Southern is just 1-2 right now. They're off to a slow start with Michael Jacobs so far. So, all right, I guess I got to make a call here on this. I guess I got to make a call here with this one. Between Pine Bluff and Prairie View A&M. All right, and for me here with these two, I got to take here. I think for me, looking at it, you talk about Prairie View so far. They didn't look too good in that first home game. To me, Pine Bluff has a little bit better offense. I'm going to take Pine Bluff plus 3 points tonight here in this one. All right, and let's see what else. Let's see if we got some other great action here. I got one more. I got one more. This is one a little better, guys, with the Rio Grande Valley taking on Northwestern State. Got to check in with these guys. Here in this one, as we go to Rio Grande Valley on the road. Here we go to the more Southland action here. And Rio Grande Valley comes in 2-5. Northwestern State comes in here right now with a record of 3-4. Not much to say, I guess, with these guys. But no, Rio Grande Valley comes in here with a 6-10 record. They've come in off of a loss here to East Texas A&M. They did beat Incarnate Word for a conference victory in there. Meanwhile, for Northwestern State, they've covered 3 in a row, winning 2 of them. They covered against Nichols. So they've been a little bit hotter here for sure, and they're getting points at home from Rio Grande Valley. The two teams met once last year. Northwestern State got the win 79-63 as a 1.5-point favorite here at home. So far, Northwestern State 8-6 ATS overall. Rio Grande Valley 3-5 ATS as a favorite. I mean, I don't think Rio Grande Valley should necessarily be favored in this game over Northwestern State. So I'm going to take Northwestern State here plus 3 points in this one. And I think we've had enough fun tonight with these. And let's see, Mr. Western's on Northwestern State. We better go to hockey here right now. Like I said, I might be saving the big game. There is clearly one big game tomorrow. Like I said, with the big matchup between McNeese here overall. with Nichols and McNeese. The only thing I will say though about the game, so I think Nichols and McNeese, one of the other factors in the game why I didn't preview it though, it is a top game there in the league tomorrow in the Southland, but it is a 14-point spread as well. So just note that the big game of the day, it's kind of the precursor. They will play again to end the season, but it's the top 2 teams in the Southland between Nichols and McNeese State tomorrow. All right, let's go to the hockey here right now. We got a nice card here, 9 games. We had some winners here on the card yesterday for sure. Let's get to it. Got 60 of you in here right now. We might as well talk a little NHL. We had some winners here on the show yesterday for sure on Night Moves. As we had here on the show, what did we have here on the show? Oh, we had well, I'll tell you one win we had was Vegas and San Jose. I did talk up San Jose a little bit there yesterday, but Vegas really took it to them 7-2. Really crushed them there, actually. No match, even though we've been riding San Jose quite a bit. All right, let's go to the hockey here right now and get it started with the Lightning on the road, taking on the Flyers here. Lightning $1.50 with my man Jonas Johannes in the net, going up against Dan Vladar and the Flyers. Tampa Bay comes in here 27-13-3. Philadelphia 22-13-9. Tampa Bay continues to roll here right now on this long winning streak. Really good run right now for the Lightning coming into this one. They've won 9 straight right now. They've also won 15 of the last 20 meetings against the Flyers overall here. Tampa Bay 15-4 on the road. I mean, you'd think they're good. They're even better on the road. Flyers are just 11-17 as an underdog this season. Tampa's gone over in 6 of their last 7, including 5 straight games on the road. Philadelphia's gone over in 5 of their last 6, including 4 of their last 5 at home. These 2 teams have gone over in 6 of their last 9 and 6 of the last 7 meetings between the 2 teams here in Philadelphia have gone over. So it feels like goals for sure. Now, they just played back on 2 nights ago, and Tampa won it 7-2 here in Philly. So they're playing 2 and 3 nights here in Philly. The 2 teams also met earlier at Tampa, and Tampa won that one 3-0. So, $1.50 could do better on a show to give out something of like a favorite here. I don't know. Maybe you like the Flyers in this one, but Tampa continues to be extremely profitable. Like I said, on the road right now, they're up 5 1/3 units on the road so far this season. Meanwhile, Philadelphia at home 12-6-5, usually a favorite though, and here they're a dog, so might be a little bit tough to want to lay it there. I'll just take the over in this one with Tampa and Philadelphia. Like I said, you got a lot of trends here pointing to the over. Not only that. Tampa 20-14 to the over as a favorite. Philadelphia 18-10 to the over as an underdog. So let me take the over here in this one. And if you guys want to comment on hockey with me tonight, let me know. Okay, here we go. And right now we got, let's see, Greg here says Tampa keeps rolling, makes it 4-3. Timothy Hawk, hey, it's hockey segment. Timothy Hawk is going to make it here. He's waiting for the hockey segment to start. And let's see. And Timmy will agree with me on the over here. Let's take it over here in this one with Tampa Bay and Philadelphia to start it off here on our hockey segment. Hurricanes on the road, taking on the Red Wings here. Another road favorite, Brandon Bussi in goal here. Carolina winners of 4 straight. They're 28-14 14-3 coming in. Detroit's won 3 in a row right now. They're 27-15-4. Detroit with consecutive wins here over Ottawa, Vancouver, and Montreal. Carolina, meanwhile, has wins here over New Jersey, Dallas, Anaheim, and Seattle. Good matchup here tonight in this one. You got a Detroit team here obviously clicking right now. They've won 8 of their last 11. Carolina's won 4 of their last 5. And Carolina's won 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams coming in. I mean, Carolina here won the first matchup of the season 5-2 at home back on December 27th. Detroit still 15-8 at home, though, so far this season. Carolina, though, 12-6 on the road so far. So look, Carolina kind of owns this series a little bit. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the teams have gone under, and 8 of the last 11 games overall have gone under. Detroit's gone under in 7 of their last 8 at home. Carolina has gone over, however, in 8 of their last 12, but they're still 8-12 to the under on the road. So take Carolina here in this one, but I think this is going to be a close game, maybe low scoring here. Bussy, obviously, with his record right now, this guy's been one of the hottest goalies here in the league so far this season. He's been dynamite. You got Cam Talbot in here for Detroit, not a terrible option necessarily right now, but man, you got this Carolina team, a top 5 team in scoring here for sure so far this season. You know, Detroit, not so much offensive juggernaut necessarily, probably mired in the middle as far as goal scoring is concerned, but maybe Bussy ends up being the deciding factor here in this one. I do see some of the sites also listing Gibson in goal, but Bussy so far 16-2-1. I'll take Carolina. All right, Jarvis ATD. Timothy, though, liking the Red Wings with a little plus money. Why not? And Greg liking Detroit here as well. Timmy says, it might be tough to get over with these guys right now, the way this series is going, the way this matchup's coming in. Florida Panthers on the road taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Is this a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals? Man, Buffalo continues to, just when you thought that one loss and it was all over, right? Buffalo will get back. They got to lose a couple. They've won 3 in a row again over Vancouver, Rangers, and Anaheim. They're taking on all comers, and Buffalo continues to smoke the opposition. Now, you are playing the Florida Panthers here, and, you know, look, it's been
final
good season for Florida, 23-18-3. I say good season because they've been have injuries coming in. They probably have higher expectations than this, but they're hanging in there right now. Did just get a win last time out against Ottawa, 3-2. The two teams have already played this season. Buffalo won at home, 3-0. That was before Buffalo was Buffalo, like they are right now. I mean, I'm almost willing to. Now, I don't want to say that, you know, I'm kind of kidding there about going to the Eastern Conference Finals, but you certainly have to put Buffalo up there among the better teams in the East right now, and just figure that they got a slow start and they put it together here. They made a key change. They had a change in general manager up there, I believe, and that kind of is when the kind of set things off a little bit here. Buffalo up 5.5 units at home so far this season. Florida just down a quarter unit on the road. They're 9-9 on the road, but Buffalo at home here 14-5-2. I'm just going to keep rolling with Buffalo. I'm not stopping at this point in any game that is at least relatively a pick 'em here. They've already paid us off so many times. You just got to keep rolling with them until they start to give it back a little bit here. I'll take Buffalo, of course, in this one. Give me the Sabres against the Panthers. Let's see what the chat has to say. Timmy likes Florida, though. Greg is on Buffalo, and Reinhardt for an ATG here for Timmy. Says Sabres are making noise. Yeah, look, like I said, not only right now when you talk about the numbers here for the Sabres, it's 13-1 in their last 14 games overall. They've won 6 straight games at home. Now they are just 2-6 in their last 8 games against Florida at home, and Florida's won 13 of the last 16 meetings between the two teams. I get it, but right now Sabres are just different. Also, Sabres have gone under in 9 of their last 11 meetings against Florida here. And you got Pekka Luukkonen here, and Bob probably could be an under. The first was an under. And the last 3 meetings between the two teams have gone under as well. All right, I'll take Buffalo. Kraken on the road taking on the Rangers here. Kraken coming in 20, 15, and 8. The Rangers just 20, 20, and 6, and they've lost 3 in a row right now. Kraken have lost 2 straight. Rangers with losses to Utah, Buffalo, and Boston didn't look too good. They just lost to Boston 10-2 on the road a couple of nights ago. Seattle, meanwhile, they're off a pair of losses, but they played well in those games. They lost to Minnesota 3-2 in overtime and then lost to Carolina on the road last time out. So second game of the road trip here, heading up to take on the Rangers. But Seattle just playing too well right now, and pretty fond of playing against the Rangers at home. We know that. We've been doing that. The Rangers are down 11.5 units so far at home this season. Seattle's actually up about 2 2/3 units on the road here. And you're getting Seattle as an underdog. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. But you could look to the total. I mean, if you took 2 teams and want to match up any 2 teams in the league, you might go to the under every time with these two. The Rangers are 5-15 to the under at home, 7-15 to the under as a favorite. Now, Seattle's trends aren't as significant to the under. In fact, they are 11-10 to the over on the road. But first meeting between these two teams was back in November. Rangers won it 3-2 at Seattle, and I just have a feeling we're going to get a low-scoring game here, and maybe with a Seattle win. Let's do exact score line. Maybe there, Greg Gibson, can we get a 3-2 Seattle win here in this one? I'm going to take Seattle here in this game, but probably going to look long and hard at the under as well in this matchup. Let's see what you guys think here if you have a pick in this one with the Kraken on the road. And not only that, you got Quick here in goal right now, and Quickie has been struggling for sure. I think we might have at least some of the numbers here for Quick. 3, 8, and 2 overall. I think he's. You know what? I was watching Vegas Al earlier, and he was talking about Quick's losing streak right now, or woes anyway. I think he said 8 straight losses, or is it 7-1, something like that for Quick right now. So not only that, Quickie is struggling here, the veteran, and that's because Igor's out. Remember, Shesterkin is out right now, and Quick is being pressed into a little bit extra duty here. So I think I got to take Seattle here in this one. And Greg's going to take him as well. And Jimmy says Kraken's just better right now. Rangers are a mess full of holes. And that was a problem, right? Like I said, with Igor out, look, maybe Igor hasn't been putting up his best numbers, but you're always going to trust him to give you a chance in goal every night, right? Look, the Rangers have a pretty good defense. Seattle's offense is not that good. That's why the under is probably the better solid shot here, it feels like. But I'll take Seattle, but under might be a premium in this game. Watch out. Timothy's got it already. Look, he says go under in this one. And Greg says, the Rangers don't win at home. And Andre says, Kraken money line because of the Rangers. Hey, want to say hello to Matt Peruti joining us in the chat. Thank you. And thank you to Clark Kent asking some very personal questions in there. Uh, and the funny thing is, in the StreamYard now, it shows you when it's a question. But all right, and hey, how about Zabinajad always hanging out in front of the goal, trying to be a goal vulture? Let's go to the next one here. Canucks on the road, taking on the Canadians here in this one, an all Canuck matchup. Vancouver comes in 16, 23, and 5. Montreal 25, 14, and 6. Montreal did lose last time out, but man, they've been doing well. Coming in here off of a loss to Detroit 4-0. They were no match at home for the Red Wings, snapping their 3-game winning streak. Did the Canadians in that loss. Vancouver, meanwhile, just doesn't seem to get any better right now. They're getting blown out every time, and they're on their fourth consecutive road game. They've been outscored on this 3-game road trip so far, 15-4. Buffalo, Detroit, and Toronto here right now. Vancouver just 12-21 as an underdog. Coming into this game. I mean, you can't like their chances at all here. They've lost 6 in a row, 4 of their last 5 on the road. Montreal's won 5 of their last 7 coming into this one. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. And I think if you look at so far, I mean, these two teams are combined 52-37 to the over. Although Montreal has a favorite, just 9-11 to the under, and Vancouver goes over at home much more frequently than they do on the road. But I'll take the over here in this one. Probably look to Montreal here, maybe even on the puck line. That's how bad it's been right now, that even in this world of these one-goal games, it might be hard to want to get behind the Canucks here. They are 18-15 as a puck line dog, but you actually look for a better record than that when you're talking about a puck line dog, right? Like I said, I want my puck line dogs to be hitting at least 67%. Meanwhile, Montreal 6-14 is a puck line favorite. That's more normal. Like you'd want to know that they're not always getting it here, but I don't know. It's a little bit of good plus money with Montreal here at home. I don't really have a problem necessarily with Montreal at this point. The problem is with Vancouver for sure. So Montreal's plus $1.35. I'll look to go here with the over in this one with what we've seen so far. Also, 4 last 5 meetings between the two teams here in Montreal have gone over. Montreal's gone over in 6 of their last 7 at home. Lots of comments here on this one. And let's see what you got. Thank you, Matt. Good to have you there in the chat. As a sports fan, I don't know. Maybe it's not the same for everybody. I hear people butchering names all the time, and I do too. But I feel like sports fans are good at pronouncing names more. So maybe it's just me. All right, Greg says 4-3 Canadians here. Timmy says, I think the Canucks can get this one finally over Montreal. They're due. They're due. Mr. Westers likes the Canucks as well. Good thing I went with the over because you guys like Vancouver. Let's see here. And you got Timothy on the Canadians here in this one. Timmy says Montreal does have crazy fans here. I've mentioned my favorite sports. I went to the old Montreal Forum before I was in my early 20s. I might have been 21. I was on a trade show. Worked in computer software. I know I talk about a lot of jobs on these shows that I've been doing, but did like setting up trade shows for a software company, and at the time got to go all over and went to a lot of games in different cities. I just remember going to the old Montreal Forum, and I thought I was in a mecca, and then they left that place, and they probably should have. Andre here liking the Canucks. And Dobbs here, what are they going to do with Dobbs here and the Canadians and the goaltending situation here? This is what I've been wondering here for a little while. But let's see, do I have Dobbs in there? Yeah, you know what? And I saw some sites are showing Montembeault. They can't keep 3 goalies all season. Have they made a move? I'm just a little bit behind, I think, on studying my Montreal Canadiens in this goaltending situation, but they've obviously had some issues here in goal right now. But Vancouver Demko actually has hit the injured list here within the last 48 hours this weekend. So Demko's out right now to be more Lankinen here currently. So, all right. That might be it for that one, and I'll take the over here. Let's go next up for a good game here with the Devils taking on the Wild in this one. You got the Devils 22, 21, and 2. They should be better, actually, shouldn't they? Minnesota 26, 11, and 9 coming into this one. The Devils have lost 4 straight all of a sudden with losses to Carolina, the Islanders, Pittsburgh, and Winnipeg. Thought they played pretty okay in that Winnipeg game, and they lost 4-3 last time out. Minnesota 13-4 at home right now. They've been very, very strong. You got the Wall of St. Paul likely in there for this one. Minnesota 9-17 to the under as a favorite, but New Jersey's 12-6 to the over as an underdog. So let's see here. This one's a little bit tougher here with actually Markstrom's already confirmed in goal. Let me correct this here. There we go. Markstrom will be in there in goal here. He's coming off that embarrassing. I think he was in that game. Let me look here real quick. Yeah, he was in goal in that embarrassing 9-0 loss to the Islanders, and they didn't even take him out. They just said you gotta stay in there right now. So look, he's having one of his worst seasons here right now with a 3.48 goals against and an 87.8 save percentage. He's 10-10-1 here so far, but look, he was actually doing pretty well there for a while before that. Before that game, he was actually 2-2, but 1.85 goals against and a 94% save percentage in the 4 games before he got lit up there for 9 goals. So still pretty tough here. Wild on fire here. And you got Wallstedt 12-2-4 coming into this one. So Minnesota on the puck line this season, 9-17 is a favorite. New Jersey 12-6 is a favorite. So like I said, you're always looking for that 67-33 guideline when you're looking at the puck line for the most part to try to find some kind of profitability here. I don't know if there's any value in this one, but I just think the Wild might be in a good position to light them up here in this one. Let's see what you got here. New Jersey's lost 8 of their last 10 overall, but they have won the last 5 meetings with Minnesota. New Jersey just 1-5 in their last 6 games straight up on the road. Minnesota's actually lost 4 of their last 6 games. Losses to the Islanders, they lost to the Kings twice, but like I said, they've still done pretty well at home. Minnesota's gone over in 7 of their last 8 games here currently, but New Jersey's gone under in 11 of their last 14 coming in. 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone over. I'm going to take the Wild on the puck line here for some plus money, honey, in this one tonight. Give me Minnesota plus $1.40 on the puck line. See what you have here in this one. It's going to be there we go. Yeah, we've got Timothy Hawk on the Wild here. Leia goal. Greg says 4-2. Boldy for an anytime goal. Here's Andre with the Wild. Mr. Weskers with the Wild. Says New Jersey will win eventually. Washington lost in OT, or the Wild lost in OT, says Mr. Weskers in that game there against the Isles, right? And Matt says hard to back the Devils right now, so take the Wild as well. And I will. I'm gonna lay the puck line because that's what you do on these shows. Okay. All right. Keep a few more here going. Look at a nice long NHL card. We're almost done with the show, though. Really appreciate it. Got 5 dozen of you in here with me right now, and we're looking at the Oilers on the road taking on the Blackhawks here. You know, the Oilers sitting in, say what you want about what's going on with this Oilers season. Still in second place right now, behind Vegas here after tonight's win there for Vegas. Make no mistake, but Edmonton 22, 16, and 7 on 51 points. They are 11, 11, and 3 on the road. Chicago, meanwhile, continue to look pretty good here at this point. They're coming in here off of a win over Nashville, 3-0 a couple of nights ago. They did lose to Washington. I'm still bitter because I was on the Blackhawks because they've been just playing so well. But before that, they've been on a roll here. Chicago, right now, has gone 5-1 in their last 6 games. Edmonton, though, has won 9 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams. They've also won 5 straight meetings in here in Chicago. Chicago and Edmonton have gone over in 13 of the last 19 meetings between the two teams. Edmonton is 27-18 to the over this season, but Chicago quite the opposite. 9-14 to the under at home, 19-24, 19-26 to the under overall this season. But man, the Blackhawks continue to impress, and I don't think that just because the overall series favors Edmonton here big time, that's because Chicago has been bad in the previous seasons. Here they're a little bit better, and Edmonton inconsistent for sure. Edmonton did win the first meeting just 3-2 at home in the first meeting. So I'm taking the Chicago Blackhawks here plus money to give me the Blackhawks in this one over Edmonton here tonight as they continue to play well. And like I said, Edmonton, they're actually in a they've won 2 of their last 3, and they're doing fine. Right, here we go. Okay, Timmy Two Shoes likes McDavid to score. Greg is on Chicago. Andre says, give me the Blackhawks. Timothy's going to take the Oil here on the road minus a goal. And let's see, Timmy says, McDavid has the McDavid tax on him, and that makes it a little bit tougher to play him. And Timmy says, Edmonton just got too many guys compared here to the, and like I said, they've owned this series over the Blackhawks for sure, but all right. Let's move on here. We're down to the last couple of games here on Monday night. Hey, let's look at the Maple Leafs on the road taking on the Avalanche here in this one with the Leafs here. A big underdog, of course, to the great Avalanche. Continue to roll here right now, coming off on yet another win at home against Columbus, 4-0. Toronto, meanwhile, has won 3 straight wins over Florida, Philadelphia, and Vancouver. Impressive. Toronto's been on a little bit of a roll here of late. Nothing like the Avalanche, though. Colorado's actually won 10 straight now at home, 12 of their last 14 overall. Toronto's won 5 of their last 6, but just 1-5 in their last 6 games on the road straight up. Colorado and Toronto have gone over in 14 straight games when they've met in Colorado. That's 14 straight overs when these two teams have met in Colorado, 9 of the last 12 meetings overall. Toronto has gone under in 5 of their last 7. These are not over teams by any stretch this season. Toronto 7-11 to the under as an underdog so far this season. Colorado 19-25 to the under overall. But these two teams only meet twice a year, so that's a 7-year sample size, but it's gone over in every game in the last 7 years. Give me the over in this one with Toronto and the Avs. I will mention that the first meeting was just 2-1, although that one was at Toronto. Toronto got the win at home. The last meeting, I should say, the two teams have not met yet this season, but the last meeting at Toronto was 2-1. The Colorado game last year, 7-4. Colorado won. at home, and the year before that it was 4-3 Tampa Bay at Colorado. Okay, let's see what you got here in this one. And it's going to be 4-3 Colorado. Timothy Hawk says, take the Leafs plus a goal and a half. And Lehkonen, anytime goal. And the Avs team total over for Timmy Choo-Choo. All right, let's take a look at one more tonight. It'll be my Kings at home. Tony's Kings here at home, taking on the Stars in this one. Ottinger on the road here. Look, the Kings are a disaster at home. Some teams are making you money at home. Some teams are making you money, period. The Kings are down 9 units at home so far this season, just 7-9-5, one of the worst home records in the league. Dallas, meanwhile, second place currently in the Central. They're up a couple of units plus on the road so far this season with a 14-4-6 record. Got one of the best one of the best road teams in the league against one of the worst home teams in the league. Here, Dallas also 26-10-9 overall. They did win the last meeting at home 4-1. And the Kings won the first meeting of the season 3-2. So let's see what you got here in this one. It's going to be hard to recommend the Kings. I mean, I think the Stars here at that price are a little bit tempting for sure, given the situation here that Dallas has won 14 of the last 16 meetings between the two teams. Now, to be fair, Dallas is stinking it up. They beat Washington a few nights ago, came back and lost to the Sharks. They're just 1-7 straight up in their last 10 games overall, but the Kings have dropped 10 of 15 here currently, so not good. Dallas has gone over in 8 of their last 9 on the road. The Kings have gone over in 8 straight. The series has gone under in 8 of the last 10 meetings, so do have that caveat to kind of go against that. But for two teams maybe known for their, lower scoring, the Kings offense, I mean, has been a joke here this season. I mean, it's starting to pick up a little bit here of late. They've actually had some 4 and 5 goal games trying to get that offense moving. So it's worked out a little bit, but still, Kings have been mostly an under before this, but now at 8 straight, you got to wonder if maybe they've turned it around a little bit, and could we see some goals here finally in this one? The total's obviously reacted there with a 6 now, and the Kings have been mostly 5.5s almost every game period. So Ottinger hasn't been at his best either here. It feels like now Ottinger here comes in with a 2.82 goals against, actually better than Kemper's 2.5 coming in. So I got to take the Dallas Stars here in this one with the Kings on Monday night. All right, get your comments, and then the show is over. Thanks for hanging out with me here for 2 hours on Night Moves, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves. Here we go, Stars for Timothy Hawk. Timmy can't play the Kings at all. Matt, thank you for being here today. He's on the Stars on the money line. Yeah, we're going to have to, fade that streak that they're on, just 1-7 straight up, obviously. But look, they have enough success, I think, against the Kings. Greg here says 3-2. Timmy Choo-Choo liking Rantanen, says Kemper is struggling a little bit. All right, that's going to do it here for Night Moves. Hey, make sure you head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at our premium picks over at Tony's Picks. As always, our best picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. I'm on a lot of different shows and channels on YouTube, but just know this. Every day it starts right here at Tony'sPicks.com. My best bets are always here, the top plays. I play the landscape, so I have a lot of selections, but my best plays are here at Tony's Picks, the ones that I have absolutely the most confidence in. So check me out over here and subscribe to the weekly All Sports Pass. Let's ride all the way through. I'm hot in the NFL right now. Take a look at some of my records here. So we get uh, rolling here right now, and there we go in the NFL here. Let's see what we got. NFL last 7 days, 4-1 right now coming in. NBA 4-1 as well. Won a college football play, won a soccer play here, so having a pretty good run. There's my 2-1 record there. Also, college football 13-5 here. We have just obviously one game left, but can't wait for that next Monday night. Not tonight, but next Monday night for the national championship game. So check me out over here at Tony's Picks. We're going to get it rolling. We'll see a good start here, NFL, NBA as well. So use the promo code TonyT at checkout, save 15%. Check out all the handicappers at Tony's Picks. A lot of those single day packages have the capper guarantee. You must show a prop or you'll get credits back to your Tony's account. Picking winners is tough. We're trying to, no one's 100%. In fact, we're trying to beat, usually you say 52.38% is a break-even price on a minus 110 line. Well, you know what? Here at Tony's Picks, I got to be a little better than that. Charge for the picks, for the research. So when I look at it, I've got to hit 56.5% on a minus 110 to get you profitable. So that's what I work on here, and that's why it's important for me to offer these discounts when you use the promo code TonyT at checkout and subscribe on those single day packages, but also check out those other packages as well, the long-term packages. This is where you're going to have the most success here with me. Check out all the cappers over at Tony's Picks. Look at them all. All right, it's going to do it here for the show. We'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves for the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.